What's up, everyone? Josh Armijo here. Hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from the band the Tony Danza Tapdance Extravaganza, entitled Danza IV, The Alpha, the Omega. This is released on Blackmarket Activities Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they're based out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and honestly, this is one of those extreme metal bands that has experimented and dabbled in so many different musical styles, they don't even need a genre tag or a title to best suit them. I mean, you can call them Danza core if you want, but honestly, they're way more diverse than that in my view, because, I mean, you name it, they've basically used it and done it and worked with it and took it to their own full advantage. Mathcore, metalcore, progressive metal, death metal, hardcore, ambient, modern rock. So many influences with this band, and it's just crazy how they have evolved over the years, even from their self-titled first album. I mean, that one riff on Cliff Burton's Surprise, that Guns N' Roses riff, is just absolutely crazy. And this is one insane band. They really believe in the word insanity, and they've used that for every single record they've put out. And each single record they've put out has been an evolvement over the next one, because the first two records were solid, but the next coming two are just a growth of their evolvement as both human beings and as musicians. Danza III really represented the band at their full-on peak best. Just incredible musicianship, just absurd guitar work, awesome vocals, great lyrics, great stories to be told. That record was just fantastic. And lo and behold, 2012, we have their fourth full length. And if I'm not mistaken, this is supposedly the last album that the Tony Danza Tapdance Extravaganza are going to do. And they'll move on to different projects after this. It's 15 tracks, and it runs around 55.5 minutes, almost an hour in length, so you're going to get the same kind of album length you got on the last record. And I should also mention that this album is basically straight up Jesse and Josh Travis. Josh Travis doing all the musical instrumentation, and Jesse doing the vocals and words. One thing to start off with is the fact that this is probably the best this band has ever sounded. This band sounds absolutely great on this record. Every instrument, the way every instrument sounds, the way every vocal delivery is done, to the way the ambience is throughout certain tracks, the production on this record just sounds absolutely pristine and great. Not overly clean or glossy. It just suits this album incredibly well, and it's, yeah, like I said, it's probably the best this band has ever sounded. Now we get on to the music. Josh Travis is just a whirlwind of a musician. He does so much on this record. The way he handles the guitar here is just absolutely beautiful. Just the way he delivers the riffs, the chord progressions, the well-patterned time signatures. It's just an all-over-the-board kind of guitar playing. And he delivers so many crazed, memorable riffs. Like, I want to say on the instrumental track, Paul Bunyan and the Blue Ox. There's so much craziness going on with that song. You think for 1 second it's going to be straight up ambient and progressive, and then boom, it gets a lot more heavier and crushing than that. It's just insane. And on songs like You Won't and Canadian Bacon, just the way he delivers the guitars on those songs is just fantastic. Even the occasional solos that you hear sound fantastic. And the bass tone has a really good solid sound to it. It's audible, it's clear, very well mixed. It blends in perfectly with the style of guitar that's going on here. Not overly distracting. It's a really good sounding bass tone. Drum-wise, you're going to get a lot of drum variations, but mainly the drums have a good mid-pace to almost fast qualities. You're going to get a ton of blast beats, good solid double bass, the way the kick and snare sound. The way the drums are played and utilized here sound really solid. And I mentioned the ambient moments. There is a lion's share of them on this record. I honestly don't know how the listener will take into that, but honestly, with the kind of ideas and stories being thought up for this record, I think the ambience works. And there are a lot of instrumental moments on this record, even parts on this album where the song ends, but yet it keeps on going into something more ambient and a lot more progressive. It's weird, but then again, you would expect Danza to be very weird, and they deliver the weird factor with this album. It's really very interesting. And vocals, Jesse is an awesome vocalist, and he has continually, in my view, gotten much, much better with every single Danza record. He delivers the same kind of vocal delivery you would expect him to deliver, just a very mid-ranged, high-pitched kind of raspy scream. His mids sound really solid. His screams are awesome, even when he tries to get a little bit lower. The way his vocal deliveries and patterns are just fantastic. He's a great storyteller. And the track, the Alpha, the Omega, the title track of this album, is basically nothing more than a posse cut. It includes Alex from Obey the Brave and Despised Icon, and Phil from Whitechapel. The way every vocalist sounds on that track is just really badass. I'm loving the cohesiveness of that track. And yeah. So overall, if this really is the last Danza record, I gotta tip my hat off to these guys, because they deliver to me, their best work yet. Their evolvement as both musicians and as people, it's just fantastic. I honestly don't know what roads lie ahead for the guys in this band, but whatever it is, I hope it leads them to success and happiness. They've delivered some fantastic music, just really being gutsy and doing what no other bands would dare to do. Experiment with styles that no other bands would want to ever experiment with. This band does it, and they succeed to the highest level with this record. I'm hoping that that people will give this album a chance. If you've been a fan of the earlier work, you should definitely give this album a shot. To the newer fans, this is something that will definitely pique your interest. I know that the CDs will be out soon. There's vinyl coming up. You can get it from Indie Merch Store. I know they're going to be flying off the handle real soon. Everybody's going to be getting that. If I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say You Won't, Rudy Times 3, Canadian Bacon, Paul Bunyan and the Blue Ox, This Cut Was the Deepest, and The Alpha, the Omega. If I were to have any really one complaint, I wish the song The Crossfire went on longer, and I would have liked for there to have been vocals and lyrics utilized to that track, because that instrumental just sounded fantastic. But that's just a small complaint. There's really nothing much to complain about for me with this record. It is awesome. So again, the album is the Tony Danza Tapdance Extravaganza, Danza IV, the Alpha, the Omega on Blackmarket Activities Records. Support this band, and I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Great record. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks all for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. And until the next time, Army Ho out.